My name is Peter Kavanagh. I'm an author and a resident of Niagara-on-the-Lake, and a very proud member of the Niagara-on-the-Lake Public Library. And I cannot describe what a privilege and honor it is to be helping out the library in raising the funds it needs for its new interior renovation project. Libraries are vitally important to me. They've been vitally important to me my entire life. And in order to tell you the story of how important a library is, I want to begin by quoting Germaine Greer, one of my favorite writers, who once said about libraries, "Libraries are reservoirs of strength, grace, and wit, reminders of order, calm, and continuity, lakes of mental energy, neither warm nor cold, light nor dark. In any library in the world, I am at home, unself-conscious, still, and absorbed." There is nothing I enjoy more than books. Talking about books, reading books, writing books, and convincing people to pay more attention to books. Books are one of the vital ways we humans capture, store, and share our stories. And stories are the key to who we are and who we will be as individuals, as communities, as societies. And one of the first places we learn about books is libraries. When I was a child, going to the library once a week and checking out as many books as the librarian would let me take home was one of the great joys of that time, and a deep and abiding pleasant memory. When I spent a year on my back in a body cast, trapped in a room, the books the library sent home to me were a window into a world I was temporarily shut away from. The librarians may not have saved my life, but those librarians saved my mind. The lessons I learned as a child were captured succinctly by that classic Canadian science fiction writer Spider Robinson, who once wrote, "Librarians are the secret masters of the world. They control information. Don't ever piss one off." And he was right, more than he actually perhaps realized. As an adult, books and libraries have been at the heart of my work and the center of my pleasure. At the CBC, I was the book producer for such shows as Morningside, This Morning, the Sunday edition. In my spare time, I imagined and created Canada Reads. At night, I would write book reviews for newspapers and magazines in Canada, the US, and around the world. And when I traveled, one of the first places I would visit in a strange city was a library. The British Library, the Vatican Library, the Library of Congress, the New York Public Library, institutions that reverberate in public consciousness and represent what is the essence of a library: access to knowledge, a place of inspiration, and a center of exchange. It is that last point that makes libraries so important. A magical thing about knowledge and intellectual growth is that much of it rests in accidental discovery. The book you're reading today somehow sends you to a book you've never seen by an author you've never heard of, and your world is now suddenly broader, deeper, and more intriguing than you might have imagined possible. That serendipitous leap from one branch to another of the human tree of experience is what makes us grow, makes us better, makes us more alive. And yet, in our world, accidental discovery, when it comes to stories, is growing strangely narrower. We would think that in a world where everything is stored online, that access to everything would be easier. It is not so. The explosion of the online world has resulted in deepening echo chambers, where all we encounter is what we already know or believe. We need vehicles and avenues where discovering the unexpected is the norm. And by avenues and vehicles, I am imagining something a bit more refreshing, a bit more complicated than, quote, "you might also like," end of quote, or a suggestion based on, quote, "other customers also bought this item," quote. As complicated and as useful as algorithms are, none has yet been developed that can quite capture the path to accidental discovery that works for you or works for me. because the manifestation of accidental discovery is to be found in the physical, the real, the thing that captures your eye, that makes you stop. Recent research suggests that books are often read, often discovered, after we've actually seen them. We aren't sure why, but it seems to be the case. And if we had more time, we could talk a bit about what that means in terms of our online experience, online shopping, but let's actually just pay attention to what it tells us about accidental discovery in the context of renovating the Niagara-on-the-Lake Public Library. The library design we are talking about is so exciting. The new shelving, the new flow of the library emphasizes and enhances the very idea of surprise and the unexpected. In essence, it is a concrete manifestation of what we need more of in this world: pathways and windows that lead us to places we have never conceived of. Look at the plans, the drawings, and just wallow for a moment in what this will mean to the opening of the eyes and minds of people of all ages, what it will mean to the community we share. This library has been at the heart of this community since this community began. And the fact that it is redesigning in a way that captures the true needs of our time is so welcome, so refreshing and hopeful. In a way, the redesign encapsulates the core values of a library. Doris Lessing, another incredible writer, once said, "With a library, you are free, not confined by temporary political climates. It is the most democratic of institutions because no one, but no one at all, can tell you what to read, when, and how." But this new redesign of the library might just well tell you what to read next.